Welcome to Business Over Beer, where entrepreneurs, small business owners, and people passionate about what they do bring us their stories and their favorite beer. Hosted by Ben Surratt, Jonathan Kaler, and Jason Knope, it's time to get down to business and drink some beer.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Business Over Beer podcast. We are talking to Michael Pan, and it's time for Angie's Mystery Beer. It is. So, Michael, every episode of the Business Over Beer podcast, my lovely wife, Angela, picks us out a mystery beer.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So, usually Angie picks out beers that are very I'm missing the word here. Kaler, can you tell me the word I'm missing?
It's a high octane.
High octane.
Motor oil.
So, if you were going to partake, and it's okay that you're not, it's a game now. So we kind of, we're going to take a little bit of the beer, pour it in our glass, taste it, and try to guess what it is. It's the game. And you get to witness these three jackasses guess what kind of beer.
Who's the best guesser? Typically?
We are all equally crappy at this.
It's bad. It's bad.
I've got two. Yeah.
I was gonna say, actually, I shouldn't say that. Knope's been on a roll lately. Like he's been
Really lately, like the past couple, he's been really close.
scary. All right.
Should have put some.
It's not motor oil, Knope.
Not motor oil.
It's fruity.
Yeah, it does smell fruity.
All right.
Prost.
Had a Kaler pour there.
Prost.
Shut up. Kind of wishing I was drinking a vanilla tea or whatever he has.
Grapefruity.
Not what I expected.
Not even close.
Is it? It's got some orange peel bitterness to it. I think it's a pale ale.
It's a pale.
I think it's a pale ale with orange.
Dude, I dig it too.
It's good though. It's nice.
I dig it.
I'm thinking grapefruit.
You think it's grapefruit? See, I'm tasting orange. I'm gonna have it with some jerky.
I ate all my jerky.
Good call.
Yeah, see, I saved mine.
Dude, I crushed it, man. It's
almost
gone.
gone.
I slowed up
My
so
wife's
I could
gonna
have
be
them with
pissed.
the A and B.
There you go.
Thanks, Michael.
I gotta go make some more. See ya.
Yeah. Well, that's good, dude. You know what? This is crushable.
Yeah, it's not high octane. It's not a high ABV, or at least it doesn't drink like one.
That's good.
All right.
It's very good.
All right. Knope, big reveal. What do we got?
We've got
Oh, it's Fort
Fort
George.
George Suicide Squeeze.
Suicide Squeeze. Yep, I knew it. I could tell from the can.
Oh, that's good.
Special edition
7.2.
Still 7.2. It doesn't even drink like 7.2, but
No.
that's good. Yeah, that's
Man,
crushable. Very
that's
refreshing.
Good.
And scary crushable.
And delicious with Thai spice mushroom jerky, just for the record.
And with the Applewood barbecue as well.
Again, with the citrus flavors going with the spice, that's another winner.
I ate all my jerky. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look at Michael. This shirt, like I'm saying, it's like, yeah.
Look at the brand on TV here.
That was awesome.
I feel
Michael,
like
hey,
There's no way you're going to get a business over beer effect. In fact, all your customers might go away after watching this. So you may catch up on manufacturing pretty quickly after you've been on our show.
that's only if Kanob speaks. Oh, I kid, brother. I love you. Michael, I want to know though.
yes.
You talked before the podcast started about the emotional part, and you kind of hinted to it in the prior episode about the emotional part of being on Shark Tank. By the way, if people don't know, you were on Shark Tank and you were selected with who was
Mark?
who was your shark?
Yes, Mark Cuban. Yes,
Mark. See that? Yeah, they're on a first name basis now. They're
With Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Mark. Can I call him Mark?
I think you can call Mark. You can call
I'm
Cuban.
just gonna text him. Hey, Mark, we had your boy Mike on the show.
Well,
I'm still getting used to it, but yes, we were Mark. We made a deal with Mark, who is someone. I mean, I've obviously seen him like everyone else on the sideline all the way to obviously on the show, and yeah, it was pretty surreal being in front of him and all the other Sharks.
I want to talk about that emotion that you were talking about earlier. Like everything you went through in the prior episode, it all like culminated into this one moment.
Yeah.
But now that moment, it's gone. Right?
I still want to cry. Like,
no, I'm sure it is, but now it's like, where are you at right now? Where are you at right now? Are you more focused? I mean, you're focused, but what's your drive like? What's your scope like?
Yeah. So to speak to the emotional part, like I said before, I had no intention to go up there and be, I watch the show like everyone else, and you see people get emotional, and it's hard to connect. You don't know whether or not. I'm one of the cynical people. Also, it's like, they mean to do that? Are they trying to get sympathy? And I admit I was one of those people. But actually, that combined with the whole experience of this year and COVID and even how COVID related to even shooting the show.
Did you get makeup on? They put makeup on you?
Yeah. I didn't tonight. I know it looked like it, but no makeup tonight. But on the show, they did me up and everything, and I think everything just kind of culminated. I didn't cry during the pitch, but the emotion afterwards, after the relief of kind of this moment that I still couldn't believe happened, but ultimately the validation that they gave me on the show and during my pitch, I don't know if anything can ever compare, because it's again, I told you I've been doing this really since 2008. I've been told over and over again, why does this exist? No one cares. Bubbas don't want it. I got too many Bubbas in my store. Everything. I've had people spit it out in front of my face, like people, especially early on. And I think going on the show was just, and to hear their feedback on people that I respect so much, and hearing them praise it as much as they did, especially Lori and Blake, all of them did, but just hearing that was very humbling and validating. And so I think that combined with obviously the emotions from the kind of the shark fight that I had, when I walked out of the tank, I was the interview was right when I walked out, and it just like hit me. It's just like everything that led up to that moment. And look, I'm not, Shark Tank doesn't guarantee success by any means. This is like very beginning of this what I consider almost a new phase of the business, right? But you know, that moment I was just overwhelmed with just how much had led up to that moment, and I was just in the moment. I really meant it when I said the peaks and valleys you feel, feeling that I've had my bank account go negative countless of times, trying to float cash flow to fund our business. Am I going to make payroll? Am I, you know, how am I going to pay rent this month? My runway is almost gone. Am I going to get this check from this retailer in time to pay for this? And all that stuff is, it adds up. And so that's what equated to the emotion when I walked out of the tank. And
And was all that going through your mind when you were there standing in front of them all? I mean, listen, I can't imagine what it'd be like. I'm like, I know my product. I know what I want to sell, but I have all these negative things creeping up, like the haters. What did you call them?
Bubbas.
The bubbas.
The bubbas.
Did that ever creep up at all in your mind while you were there, or you're like, I'm here to bat and I'm going to hit a home run?
I was lucky because, you know, I think, well, we did a lot of work to get on that carpet. That doesn't just happen. That it takes a ton of work to get there, and vetting and reviewing every business. And I'd prepared quite a bit, not only from the pitch, but also for the questions that came along. And luckily, honestly, I thought I was nervous every other time. I was nervous before. I had a hard time sleeping, and I get nervous watching it even today when I watch it. But I don't know, for some reason, like when I was on that carpet, I was just honed in. I was in the zone, and just it doesn't hurt when your pitch is interrupted by them loving the product either. So that is kind of like, that sets the tone for really your pitch. If they didn't like the product, I would have been really struggling. But luckily, they liked it. And then from there, it was just obviously answering great questions about our business and then navigating the negotiation part of it. But I forgot the question, but it was it was just a surreal moment that I don't know if anything will ever compare to it at all.
Well, no, I mean, like, so you answered my question by saying that those negative thoughts never came to your mind. The bubbles never even entered your mind.
I guess I was in the zone. I don't know. Like I guess it was, when I boiled it down to, it was just, here's the other part. I mean, really, even before Shark Tank. So I'll kind of talk about this here a little bit. We had created this demand for years about mushroom jerky and bringing it to life as a category and a product. And like I mentioned before, we were in the shared kitchen situation, and we were getting interest from tons of people, especially as the plant-based market was starting to become more, just mainstream essentially. And so we had built this demand and had all this hype coming up, but we couldn't make enough product. And so we ended up building out a space, and we're planning to move in March. And we moved in right before COVID really shut things down, and we got really lucky that happened. But once we moved, we were about to announce to the world, or to all these partners that we were about to work with, like, hey, we're ready to make more product. Let's get to work. And then COVID hit, and we were immediately met with, all right, are we telling our, kind of older employees to come in and like potentially die over this? Are we going to, people with health issues, ask them to come in and help us scale up just to make some jerky and put their life at risk? It felt really odd to do that. And so we ended up, sending people home and just keeping them home for a while and shouldering the load ourselves, making the product and everything until we kind of get things, A, understood a little bit more about what the virus was, and B, putting safety measures, masks, et cetera. We were very aggressive with that up front. But that really, that was a very, very difficult, real moment of, we're putting people's lives at risk while trying to benefit ourselves by, growing this business. But at the same time, our employees need to work too. So none of us could afford just to go sit at home. So we figured out a solution that worked. We've been able to operate and be safe. And what happened was basically we were able to grow all summer. So we've been growing, stayed operational, and that built up the confidence and also the story that I ended up telling on Shark Tank. And so I think because of all that, we had momentum going in. Honestly, confidence. I was confident, and honestly, if they weren't going to make a deal with me, I will continue pushing forward no matter what. It's kind of what it comes down to. I didn't feel like I had to have them, although don't get me wrong, it doesn't hurt. But if it was within my terms, I wanted to work with them, obviously. But if it wasn't within my terms, or if I didn't get a deal, I don't think that's the end of the world either. So
talk about the vetting process. You kind of mentioned that a little bit. So you filmed this, so it aired in November. You filmed in August.
Yeah.
You know, how long before August did you know you were going to be on the show? What's your preparation time when they say, yes, you are going to be on the show, here's your film date? Like how long do you have to prep to make sure you've got the absolute best quality product to come in, get your presentation all set? And then what's the time before that? Like, what is the application process? Like how long have you been in the works of trying to get on Shark Tank? What is that kind of vetting process all the way to get onto the stage look like?
Unfortunately, I can't get into too much. I'm under NDA.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
But months. It took months to get there. And like, for instance, they're starting to ask for applications now for next season. That's public knowledge. So they start this process of getting people to apply now till next year, just to be able to air by the fall of next year.
Gotcha.
So it does take months to not only go through the initial pool of people who they're interested in, and then it takes months to go through the vetting. And in terms of how long did I have to before I knew we were going to be on, I'll just say not long.
not long enough, probably, right?
Not long enough. And we did not get much notice in general. So,
well, let me ask it a different way then, because I don't want to put you in any sort of awkward situation. So why did you apply in the first place? Or what? I mean, was it just you were a fan and you're like, you know what, they're accepting applications, I'm going to give this a try? Or what was the draw to that in the first place?
Well, funny enough, we my partner, they actually left this out of the pitch. I've heard every time someone sees our banner, I hear all the time, mushroom jerky, over and over again. And I've been told countless of times that you should be on Shark Tank, blah, 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 because this is pretty new. But I honestly, I never, maybe I'm lying, but I don't know, internally I'm lying, but I never wanted to necessarily be up there. I'm a huge fan of the show, but I had no, my whole life it's like, I got to get on Shark Tank. That's honestly not necessarily what I wanted, but there's no question that if you have the opportunity to be on there, it's really hard to pass up. And so luckily, we had some people who saw our product at Whole Foods in LA, and they encouraged us to apply. And that's how we kind of got into the whole loop and to get through the whole process. So, and that's how it happened. We did not actually end up auditioning. We didn't go to those big open castings or anything like that. But anyway, and like I said, that whole process took months to get through.
And I love that it's like, your whole segment was less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job of like creating this drama, this sense of urgency, this feeling of the entrepreneurs being very overwhelmed. I mean, is that a real thing? Like once they get into like past your pitch and get into this negotiation, is that feeling real? I mean, is it really like that back and forth and you're there and having to make that decision like that fast? Or
so I was surprised because I'm the same way. I saw, you see everything edited, right? It's narrowed down. I was surprised how much I had to manage the room. They're all very competitive. They if they like something, they're very, very competitive to try to get not only to win the deal, obviously, and to get a good deal as well. And that is in person, it's absolutely real. And for my pitch, I got the infamous clock put on me by two people. And so for my pitch, I have obviously seen, again, I've seen that happen before, but it was very real. Like I didn't know what was happening, honestly, because they were talking over each other. They were, trying to win the deal essentially. Right. And they were going back and forth to each other to prove why they deserve, why I should pick them and go to their deal. It was as chaotic as it was on TV, and you probably only got a slice of it. And honestly, I had to watch the episode to really remember and understand what happened.
I bet it went so fast. I'll bet you I'll bet it was just a blur. It could have taken 5 hours, but I'll bet for you, it still would have just been a blur.
Yeah. And I have no idea how long it was, but that negotiation part happened so pretty quick. It was just, I answered all these questions, and all of a sudden, if you hadn't seen the episode, Lori and Blake they went to the back and started talking about making a deal, and Mark and Damon and Mr. Wonderful were all asking me questions. And then when they came back, they asked, they made the pitch for why, they wanted 30% for two of them. Lori put the clock on me right away, basically, and said, you got to decide right now. And that is when it just like ramped up. I love Lori. Like, she's they're all great. I love them all, but like, as a product person, I've always loved Lori just from that aspect. And she's obviously done a lot of great things. And it was, again, it was very validating when she made that offer in general. But, like I said on the show, I didn't necessarily want to give up that much equity. And so that was, I had already decided early on before I went on that I did not want to go that high. And so when Mark came in and offered 20%, even though, again, they wanted two sharks for 30%, I didn't want to do that. And so when Mark went 20%, my attention went to him a little bit more. And that's when it happened so quick that it was a lot of yelling and chatting. And then all of a sudden I had to deal with Mark. It was really, really bizarre. So.
Well, that was my favorite part of the episode, was that they were all arguing and bickering back and forth, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, now you. And Damon John is like, oh, I guess he's not decisive. It's like, wait a minute, that's not fair.
That was so. If you see me crazy, laughing, I was laughing. I did take a moment because in the most funniest and fun ways, they're really trying to amp up the pressure on you, and the people who are not in the deal, they're having fun with it. And so Damon is, I don't know if you see but also this year they weren't straight across, so they were kind of in a circle. And so I have Damon on my right, basically like messing with me and talking about, oh, he doesn't usually do that, but he doesn't wait this long. I couldn't help but laugh because I know what he was doing. And Mr. Wonderful is hilarious. Like, they cut out all his jokes during our pitch. Guys, he's really funny. And similar thing, he's really the guy, that's always like, you have to decide now. And that's real. Like, I heard it and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm in this moment to decide. And so they really do a good job of amping that pressure up at my expense, of course, and to push on me. But it's in the moment, it's on. I had a moment where I looked at myself and I was like, this is pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Damon and John like really teasing me and trying to get me to be nervous and to make a decision at my expense. And while I have these other sharks like arguing over me right now, and it was really flattering, of course. But it was chaotic. It was really chaotic, and I had to read the subtitles honestly to know. And actually, what's funny is I didn't even hear Lori. I don't know if you noticed this, but Lori ended up kicking Blake out of the deal.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
And actually going under Mark, and I actually didn't even hear that. I don't remember it happening because it just.
You didn't?
I was so.
That's awesome.
I was just about to ask about that. I was like, Lori wanted you so bad.
So bad, dude. She was like right there.
So what would have happened if you had heard Lori?
Great question. I probably could also use that to leverage more against Mark too, but this is probably my biggest. I mean, 3%, but like I would say my biggest regret. Not big, but just it was one thing in hindsight. I've played this scene over and over in my head so often since the show. It's like a weird PTSD thing for me, but I don't know what I would have done, to be honest with you. But I would have, the thing that I knew beforehand, I decided that I would not get into a long negotiation, number one. I knew if it was within my range that I agreed in my head that I would walk out with, I would try to just make this a positive experience for me where I'm not like, where I didn't want to get in a situation where one gets insulted and goes out and then I'm like back to one deal. And so I felt like I had kind of the best case scenario of leverage that I could get. And I had two great offers and one happened to be lower in equity, which is what I wanted. And so it made more sense. But yeah, I don't know what I would have done if I would have heard Lori, but I did not hear her, unfortunately, too well, but it was chaotic. And so, but regardless, I'm happy. I'm very happy with the deal we got because we work with Mark Cuban, so it's fantastic. But yeah, can't go wrong with any of them, honestly. But Mark has been really, really, really great so far. So,
Well, I'm a little curious on how you come up with the flavors. I mean, is it difficult to create a flavor that works well with mushrooms? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, when I ended up getting some help a little bit on a couple flavors. I wanted to launch quicker, but what I did was I came up with two flavors of my own, like the first two that I made, and then I worked with one of the they're called the Food Innovation Center in Portland, and they help with everything from scaling businesses to all the way to flavor development, all the way to all these other things, and I was able to use them to help me quickly develop some flavors together, basically. So they did all the I originally was like doing all the flavors and all the blends, and I did a couple, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I need help to do this. So luckily I was able to work with them to come up with some initial flavors, and I worked with them closely to just kind of refine the flavors that I wanted. So yeah, I ended up basically getting help is the quick answer.
Yeah, it seems like it could be difficult to pair, come up with something and say, okay, well, I'm going to make this. And then when you get in there and you realize that, that is not going to work.
Yeah.
How do we adjust it to make it so it does taste good with mushrooms? It's really strange how you're able to get Applewood barbecue, at least for me, to make mushrooms taste fantastic. So
I didn't think I wasn't going to do an Applewood, but then we experiment because I wanted something that was, familiar too. I didn't want to go too crazy with flavors. I wanted something that was kind of, level sets of what you'd expect. And so like salt and pepper and barbecue were kind of just like, that's a pretty basic flavor that actually ended up pairing, I thought, well. And so I honed in on it because A, I thought it tasted good, but B, it really helps introduce a lot of people to the product also. So it worked out. Also, there's a little bit of luck involved too. I mean, you can only do so much testing and iteration, but that's what the market's really great for. You get the product feedback right away. Are they willing to give you money for it or not? And it turned out early on, you go out on the road, you find out what flavors or what combinations work and don't. And once I had a flavor, and we still do this now, if we have more flavors that come out, we're going to go to the markets and go test them out. Will people pay for it or not? And that tells you yes or no. Do you have something on your hands? So there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what are the next steps? So now, you've survived COVID, at least this first almost year of COVID. You know, you've thrived through COVID. You go on Shark Tank, you get a deal, you've got this influx of cash, and now reality sets in, right? You've got the Oprah effect, the Shark Tank effect. You know, you're not sleeping, you guys are backlogged, you're manufacturing continuously, you're still not able to fulfill orders. So, you know, which I'm sure is a huge stress. So I have just two parts. Number one, how's the response been from customers on the backlog? Are they being supportive? Are they being lenient are they being understanding? And then, you know, once you get through this hump,
yeah,
you know, then I would assume, I'm guessing that the fun work starts. Then you can really hunker down with your new business partner and really try to map out what the next phase of your business looks like. So what does that look like for you guys in the next, you know, 1, 2, 3 years?
Have you been on Shark Tank? Because you sound very like you know exactly what I'm going through.
I've never been on Shark Tank. I just watch a lot of TV.
A lot of Seinfeld.
Hey, pipe down up there.
That's a classic. No, the response has been mostly good. We've tried to just be as transparent as we can. Well, we have been transparent, just telling the challenges. We're a small team. We're 10 people. We manufacture and fulfill everything ourselves. We try to let people know we're humans behind this. And the response ended up being 6 times what we expected initially.
Wow.
That's what it is. And
did the Shark Tank folks give you any sort of projection or any sort of expectation as to what to expect post-show?
We had asked around a little bit, and our estimates were off. Let's just that way. And so we got, I don't know if we were just, I don't necessarily know everyone's experience going on there, but we
it's freaking delicious. It's delicious. That's the problem.
We had a great episode, and people in a great way. These are great problems to have, that we just got overloaded with orders, and we ended up we went out of stock online, and
Sure.
But it came at once too, where we didn't know what was happening, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, this is way more than what we thought. Let's shut it off. So, to answer your question, I don't know if we'll make everyone happy. Like, people want it, and people expect things now. That's just the society we live in today. So we're trying to make everyone as happy as we can. We've already told people they're going to have to wait a little bit. We're trying to ramp up our business and hire people. So we've hired at least, I think, 3 people in the past week, and I'm interviewing more to try to hire more to help fulfill orders and to make product. But that, as you probably know, it takes time. And so because we went way past our projections, we just have been very transparent with everyone that we need time to get people hired. And this is a great problem to have. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to create more jobs and create a business that we can hire more and more people that helps, obviously, the economy. So everything actually has worked out really well, but it's painful for us at the moment.
Sure it is.
We obviously want everyone to have it in their hands like immediately. We can't do that quite yet. That's unfortunate reality of being a small business. If we were larger, I mean, maybe some others can do it, but as you can see, even toilet paper manufacturers can't keep up with demand sometimes.
Right.
So
For sure.
happens to the biggest of players. But
one last question for you, homie.
yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Well, not the last question, but one last question for me right now. How are we going to sell your jerky to Chicago and the Midwest?
Oh, are you Midwest?
Yeah, dude. Wisconsin.
These 2 yahoos are from the Midwest.
Donnie.
I don't know how.
So how do you sell that? Like, what's your marketing campaign? How do you do that? How do you say, hey, look, I can give you everything that you get in the beef, in this mushroom?
I know the Italian beef out there, and all the Italian. I gotta get them off, but
You get some deep dish flavored mushroom.
hey, people put it on
pizza
salad,
flavor.
pizzas.
Pizza flavor.
That's what I'm saying, homie.
We have some presence in Chicago, believe it or not. We have some stores over there, not the big ones, but we have some stores in that area. And, we're working on Whole Foods, of course, as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll be there soon. But believe it or not, I mean, I think 4 years ago, I'd have been like, I have no idea how we're going to get the farmer or, I don't know, people from the Midwest and the.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's for real, yeah.
But now I think because everyone you don't have to be vegan necessarily to eat this. And I think it's a change in culture and mindset now that if you just try to reduce your meat, that's all we're here for. If you want to reduce your meat intake, or even if you don't, you just want a healthier snack, we're here.
Well, I think you had it. You don't have to be vegan to eat this.
That's right.
Boom.
Sure.
Done.
That's right.
Because you don't. And this is dude, I'm telling you, it's delicious.
Yeah. I mean, look, I killed it. Mine's gone.
Mine would be, but I'm trying to be nice and save a little bit for my wife.
Well, my wife actually developed a soy allergy after 30.
Oh.
And so when I brought this home, after you and I talked the first time and I brought some home, she's like, oh, I'll bet it's chock full of soy and stuff. And it's like, and Dad, right on the front of the package, it says no soy, just shrooms. And she's like, bring it on. And so yeah, and she's not a vegan, but she does have a soy allergy. And the fact of the matter is it's a delicious product.
Oh,
we love you because obviously you're a Vancouver guy, you're a Portland metro business, the story you've told, the bootstrapping and the passion that you bring for what you do every day is what we're all about. And I think you are just, you talk about this community, and we've talked about it hundreds of times on this show, how it is not a big community, but it is very tight knit. And we have a very special thing in Vancouver and Portland Metro. All the small business owners really try to help and support each other where they can. And it's so great to have you on. We love your product. We're so happy for you and that things are going well. I hope you can get over this hump here over the next couple of months and kind of get out of this and let the fun stuff begin. But thank you for coming on the show, spend a little bit of time with us. We're going to leave it there for now. But before we go, Benjamin, it's time.
Is it time?
Time.
Michael, it's time for the final question.
All right. I'm more nervous than Shark Tank right now. Question.
Should be. You are watching your son play soccer. Okay.
Pre-COVID, but yes.
Anywhere, it's a 3-part question.
Sure it is.
Each with 5 individual parts.
Woo. All right, let's go.
You're going to watch your son play soccer. And I want to know, where are you watching your son play soccer? And I want to know who's on your right and who's on your left. And they have to be people of influence.
Your son can be any age. Your son can be playing soccer anywhere, at any level. Like, this is
Okay. All right. If I can afford it, or he can afford it.
In this question, you can.
You can.
I'm on the Stanford sidelines watching him play for the Stanford Cardinals.
Noper.
I'm not a fan of Stanford, but apparently for some reason he's like, I'm gonna go play soccer at Stanford. I'm like, all right. Great. I like the goals. So I'm now a Stanford Cardinal fan, and I'm watching him play soccer. On my right, oh my gosh, who are on my left and right?
And they have to influence you. Their influences they influence you some way.
Okay. Well, I think I have to. I mean, there's one obvious one. I think Mark's on my Mark's on my side.
Mark Cuban. Yeah.
Mark Cuban. We're talking business. We're figuring out our next steps, and we're enjoying watching a soccer game, but we're making progress on the business. And
I hate to interrupt here. How old is your son right now?
He is 12.
He's 12.
Oh, dude, that's legit. Yeah, that's the next 2 years for sure.
No. You're going to be talking with Mark Cuban, watching your son play at Stanford, counting your money. That's what you're going to be doing 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we'll see. No, it's all going to go in. If there is any, it's going to go in Stanford's pockets. Let's be real. Anything that I make is going to go there after I pay off the debt. But anyway,
touche.
Yeah. Mark's on my right, and who would be on my left? I'm trying to think of some other famous Stanford grads, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
There's too many, but yeah, I guess on my left would be
Jim Harbaugh.
I'm an Illini guy. That was my school. I'm an Illini, not Jim Harbaugh, but
Lovey Smith. Lovey.
No,
hey, let him figure it out. Let him tell us.
No, it would. I mean, there's no. Sorry, I'll say there's no question. I'm a Jordan guy. Jordan's on my left.
There you go.
Jordan's on my left, and I'm asking. We're just like having this basketball discussion, living his glory days. He's got his cigar smoking. Just relax. There you go.
This was so much fun. We love your product. We're really happy for you. If people want to find out more about you and your business, where would you like people to go?
Mushroomjerky.com. It's that simple.
Piece of cake. Fantastic.
There you go.
Canope.
Yes.
If people want to find a business over beer after this episode, where do they go?
They go to bizoverbeer.com. B-I-Z overbeer.com. They can find the podcast there. They can find links to the videos there. They can find information about these 3 cool dudes right here. There's another thing that's on there. I believe it's called the Patreon. Is that right, Ben?
You are correct.
Would you mind elaborating on that?
Well, the Patreon is where you can become a BC, a Bob Crew member. And not only will you get to be part of the Bob Crew and get cool things like pictures of us with our signatures on it, you get this episode before anybody else does. And of course you get the bottle
opener, isn't that
a bottle opener? But
that impressive?
You can find out to be part of the PPP.
What's
the
that?
Podcast, the Patreons, and the partners. Boom. That's what I'm saying.
bizoverbeer.com/Patreon.
Do it. Michael, you are awesome, brother. I am so happy for you. And I have to say, the fact that you even put in our guest kit that you made your side hustle into a successful business speaks volumes to all of our listeners. And they can be like, and you're going to be like just this catalyst for more entrepreneurship. And I thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Business Over Beer reminds you to always drink responsibly. Our theme song is Idiocracy by Christian Leo. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Business Over Beer, a TH3 Entertainment production.